All right, go ahead.
All right, I'd like to go ahead and open up the Warrenton Board of Aldermen meeting for Tuesday, October 17th, 2023. And if everyone would please stand and say the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Consent agenda.
We have the regular meeting minutes from October 3rd, 2023.
Entertain a motion.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, second by Alderman Corder. Roll call vote.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crum,
Yes.
Alderman Corder,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Romaker.
Yes.
6-0. All right. Public comments. If anyone has anything they'd like to say, please walk up to the podium, state your name, and we'll give you 5 minutes. All right. All right, come on up. We're being shy this morning. Come on.
You get done. If you go first, you're done.
I like
You're
it.
done first then.
Yeah.
So my name's Miriam Schaefer, and I'm a lifelong resident of Warrenton. I own a house in the city of Warrenton.
Ma'am, if you would please
Oh.
talk in. Thank you.
Sorry, can you hear me now?
Yes, perfect.
Should I start
Thank you.
over? I'm Miriam Schaefer, and I'm a lifelong resident of Warrenton. I own a house in the city limits. I've owned it for over 40 years. Anyway, that's just my background. I'm a retired school teacher, so which has nothing to do with what I'm going to bring up. What I would like to do is, and I'm really want you to please do this. I want to invite each of you aldermen to please drive out to the athletic sports complex, pull into the disabled parking, and visualize yourself going to your grandchild's or your child's soccer game. And then in the same disabled parking spot, because there is not another one, visualize yourself going to your grandson's or your children's baseball games. I took pictures. It's terrible. It's terrible that, are you all familiar with the sports complex? If you drive down Jaspering Lane, in the center is the disabled parking. You have to walk about 300 feet through a field to get to the little kids, probably under 5, kindergarten, preschool, soccer games.
Okay.
You have to walk it's like I took my husband's rangefinder, and I believe it's like 300 yards to get to the other field where our older grandson plays. And that's to the end of the pavement. And then you still have to get across the fields to get to the field to watch him play. Even with a set of binoculars, I don't believe you could watch him play safely, because I made that comment when I couldn't get my husband off the pavement to watch the game. So there are so many elderly people that I'm friends with, or that I have friends that have grandparents and parents that do not attend sports events that want to go, and they're unable to get to the games. I'm kind of upset at myself that I didn't realize this to bring this up back when my parents were still alive, because there was times they didn't go to games anymore, and I really didn't. The light bulb really came off when my husband became disabled. And now that I've tried, he does one and done. He does one game. It takes lots of us to get him to that point and back, and he's scared of falling, and something needs to be done. I've walked out there, I've taken pictures. I'm a retired school teacher, so I'm not as knowledgeable as like an engineer would be, but there are things that can be done. There's pavement that could be additional parking that could be put closer to the fields. As you come in into the parking A is the first road there. That's gravel. That is the closest to the fields there where the older kids play, but it's all gravel. And if you looked at my pictures, I really wish you would all go out there though, but if you looked at my pictures, you'd see you can't get across there. And most of the time, those gravel fields are just full. You'd probably be stuck in the back lanes. I see some of you nodding your heads. I'm sure you're familiar with the sports complex.
Yeah.
The first gravel parking off of Jaspering, which is the general parking, it's the closest to the little fields, but it's crossing the road, going up a little gravel pad, and then it's up a hill. It is closer, though, than the disabled parking, but it'd be a challenge to get to. So,
Miriam, I totally agree with you. I've talked about that and complained about it to my wife because of our in-laws trying to get there at their age to watch grandkids play. And it's a mess. It really is. The design of that was not thought through as far as handicapped or disabled or even somebody walking with a broken leg. So, John, we're obviously going to be doing something in November with is there any way we could look at that and maybe see if we could come up with a plan? I know it seems like, I know we're kind of limited on parking, getting close to where the concrete is to go down where the four fields back one another. I know we're limited there. Can we look at something and at least discuss it and see if there's something we could do in the near future with that?
Absolutely, we can look into it. I mean, the turfing is going to start probably next week, so the construction of that is already kind of underway, but that doesn't mean we can't roll another project into something. I mean, definitely something we can look at.
Is there an area that could be where handicap access could be moved to that would be better? That's
I'm a retired school teacher, but I thought there was. Like, because when I took my husband to the baseball game, so I drove up, dropped him off at the top of the pavement that goes down to the ball fields. He had to hold on to the utility pole there. Then I drove back down to the disability parking, and the reason I did that and didn't park in the general, I would have had to park, it was chaos. So I went back, jogged up with our two chairs, and then there's no benches or anything going down. You have to grab the utility poles to stop and rest just to get down there. So, I mean, something needs to be done there. But right by that utility pole, it's kind of flat right there. I don't know if some disabled parking could be put there. At least it'd be right by the pavement. But there's also a gap between the concrete and the gravel getting on that pavement. I mean, I'm surprised nobody has fallen, and that's what my husband is scared to death of, falling and then having to call EMTs out in the middle of somewhere. So he just sits at home and doesn't go, and I know he's not the only one that's not participating.
No, it's been brought up in conversations at the fields when I was there, before I became an alderman. And we just haven't had somebody come talk about it. And thank you for bringing it.
Right.
And I do believe there's grants out there that the city could apply for that actually make improvements to sports complexes and parks and for the disabled. So there are grants out there if,
I definitely will be out there tomorrow.
Thank you. I appreciate if you drive out there. Thank you. And just sit there with your lens. And one of the disabled parking, the one that doesn't face the concession, you'll be right next to fields. No games are played there. That's a practice field. So although you're right there, that's you're just looking at empty field if you go out there during the games, so.
John, correct me if I'm wrong, but haven't we discussed moving some kind of concessions down to that center of those 3 fields?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so that is something that we're looking at doing as well. So hopefully we can improve some of that, because one of these days, we're all
hope
going to be
so.
old.
Okay. I know that's what I said about myself. I'm like, okay, I'm getting up there, and I thank God that I'm able-bodied, but it's gonna come, I mean, there's times when you have to park so far, haul in those seats.
It's,
You know.
yeah, it needs to be, and it's hard to, and to be honest about it, if you go down to the fields in O'Fallon at Ozzy's, similar situation, the only difference is they're all blacktop and concrete. So that would help somewhat. I know there are handicap spots closer, but still those fields are at least 300 feet in most cases, so the kids can play ball and stuff. I wouldn't park my car there because some of them could hit it out of the park.
Right.
But maybe we can work something or take a look at doing something with that, John.
Well, I'm thinking even like parking lot A, that first parking lot, there's a lot of open flat that at least would put you closer to those fields. Like you could park someplace closer to where you're.
Nice. I actually, to be honest about it, I think I actually brought up having someone in a golf cart to take down there. But I think, of course, lawyers and liabilities and insurance, all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Probably grants,
I,
veterans with disability.
yes, I believe there are, yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Miriam.
Thank you
Thanks
so
for
much.
bringing that to our
Thanks for bringing it out.
All right, anyone else? All right. Then we'll move on to Board of Alderman comments.
I'd like to compliment all of the city employees for their diligent work yesterday and working so hard to fix the water main break that we had, and just say that I stopped by and talked to them, and they weren't real happy it happened, but they were happy they found it, and they worked all day long because it was close to my home, and I watched them work most of the day yesterday. So thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I do appreciate that.
So you sat on the front porch.
Just
without water.
What I did was offer them a glass of water, but
They asked if you boiled it first.
So shovel and hopped in there.
yeah, no way, that was a mess. Hey, but thank you. I
Yeah.
appreciate everything you guys did, and so did everyone in the community.
We'll be sure and pass that along. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. All right. Anybody else? Put on the comments? Nope. All right. Moving along here. Liquor by the drink license for Holy Rosary Parish, located at 724 East Boonslick. I'll entertain a motion to approve the liquor by drink license.
So moved.
Do we know what this is for?
Yeah, what was this?
We were just curious.
It's a
what
new
for.
managing officer.
Oh, what?
A new managing officer. So the priest is the one who's in charge of the liquor license, and they have a new priest. So they had to get a new license.
Okay, so they're not like selling drinks at functions.
No.
I was just curious.
Usually it's when
But they have to have one for,
events
like-
out there.
Right, when they have events, they have
When
to
they have
have
events.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
That's what we were
People bring their own
thinking.
in.
We were just curious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fall
Okay.
dinner, spring dinner.
Right.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve it.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, second by, is that Roemaker? Alderman Roemaker? Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Roemaker?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Next up, we have Director of Operations, John Struckoff.
Evening. First item I have for you tonight is the monthly admin report. Not too much to note on that. Police officers, everything else is good right now. So Any questions on that, I'd be happy to answer.
Thank you, John.
I have the next item is items for sale. This is kind of a small list, but there's a couple items that we need to get rid of out of storage that's in the way of other stuff, so looking to lessen the load, if you will.
Are you pulling the hard drives from those printers and copiers? Good.
Does scrap mean you're not going to sell it, you're just going to scrap it? Yep.
It's beyond the useful, it's not worth our time to try to sell it, if you will.
Yep.
How big are those? What do they look like? All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the following list of items to be sold.
So moved.
Motion made by Alderman Schultz, second by Alderman Cullum. Roll call vote.
Alderman Crump,
Yes.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Romaker,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz.
Yes.
Passes 6-0. Next up, John.
Next item I have here tonight is the City Hall roof bid. This summer, we had some AC issues. Our AC repairman was on the roof and said we had hail damage, and we probably should look into that. So we contacted our insurance provider and got in contact with them. It's been kind of a process to get everything done, but insurance said we definitely have hail damage, and they want to repair our roof. So they're going to give us money to repair the roof, less our $5,000 deductible. We had two bidders on the project. They were both within less than $200 of each other. The local company was, I think, $197, don't hold me to that, higher, and I suggest to use them. They helped us with the insurance company. They were actually on the roof with the insurance company doing the inspection, so they did a lot of work beforehand, and they're right here in town, and I suggest to go with them.
What kind of roof is that, John?
It's 3-tab asphalt shingle.
Okay.
is the company.
RCE, commercial roofing.
Crazy how close they were on the bids.
Yeah, I couldn't, when we opened those bids, we're like, how is that close? How do they not talk to each other? But, you know, they both came out and measured the roof. They had the same stuff, so.
Where in the world is Centerville, Missouri?
I'm sorry?
Where is Centerville, Missouri?
I don't know. I didn't even look it up. It's a small town somewhere, I'm sure, but.
All right, I'll entertain a motion to award the City Hall roof bid to RCE Commercial in the amount of $58,947.77, the best bid.
So moved.
Made by Alderman Quarter,
Second.
second by Alderman Miller. Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Quarter,
Yes.
Alderman Cullum,
Yes.
Alderman Romaker,
Yes.
Alderman Miller,
Yes.
Alderman Schultz,
Yes.
Alderman Crump.
Yes. Passes 6-0. What else do you have for us, John?
Next item I have for you tonight is our property and liability insurance renewal. This is a renewal we do every year for a November 1st policy date. The rates did go up a little bit. After all the endorsements and everything through the year, we've bought some vehicles, property, values go up, that kind of stuff. We're looking at about an 8% increase over last year's premium. And Julie and Nathan are both here from Tri-County, we're our insurance providers, if you have any questions for them, or I'd be happy to answer any questions as well.
Was that within the budget? Is that what we budgeted?
So the insurance and our budget is kind of hard to do because this is October, so we have to budget for the whole year. So it's going to be a little better next year since we're going to be at a different time frame. The July to July was kind of tough to budget for this, but we always budget a little high, so it's within our budget to do this. I mean, it's insurance, we got to have it. So, like I said, it's hard to project out in July what our premiums are going to be in November, but I think going January to January is going to be a little bit easier on that, so.
Any comments from our insurance folks? You can do some explaining as far as any changes in the averages or?
There's not been any changes directly to the policy. I mean, everything is as it was.
It just went up 8%.
8%, when you take all the different coverages together, it came out to about an 8% increase.
$250,000.
And this is for the next fiscal year, right?
Correct, this is,
January to January of '24.
no, the policy is November 1 to November 1.
Okay.
That's why it's difficult to
Right.
project budget from July to November, what the policy is going to do. But like I said, it's going to be a little easier because now we're going to be able to budget for the next year for less 2
January through
months. so-
December.
Yep.
And what company is that with?
It's through Missouri Rural / Star Insurance.
I'm very well familiar with that.
One thing I'd like to comment is,
Julie?
keep in mind that, sorry. One thing I wanted to comment on is that some of your increases are just generated from your budget. So like when you do law enforcement or, the political part or,
Public officials,
it's not directors, not officers, what?
public officials.
Yes, thank you. Public officials, my mind is 15 different directions. But those are all generated based off your budget. So as your budget increases, those things are going to increase as well, in addition to the different endorsements that John already mentioned. So the 8% is for the rate increase overall. The remainder of it is from the endorsements and increases in your budget. So I hope that helps.
Yes, thank you, Julie.
But what is a participation fee? It's right there in front of me. I don't know what it is.
$150.
So, with this particular company, you do have to belong. It's like a trust type situation, and so there's a $25 participation fee every year, and so you'll pay it on this one. If you had Missouri Rural Services for your workers' comp, which I think you do not pay it again. So, yeah,
So it's a membership, sort
it's a
of.
membership.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Nope. All right, I'll entertain a motion to renew the property and liability insurance in the amount of $249,175.
So moved.
Second?
Made by Alderman Miller, second by Alderman Romaker. Roll call vote.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
6-0. What else for us, John?
Next item I have for you is the 2023 water line extension contract. The bid was actually approved at the last board meeting, I believe it was last board meeting. And this is just to authorize the mayor to sign the contract with the company.
I'll entertain a motion for the first reading of bill number 776-23.
Moved.
Second.
Motion made by Alderman Cullum, second by Alderman Schultz.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Warrenton, Missouri and Pace Construction Company, LLC for the 2023 water line extension project.
I'll entertain a motion for the second reading of bill number 76-23.
So moved.
Second.
Alderman Romaker, motion made by Alderman Romaker, second by Alderman Quarter.
An ordinance to authorize the mayor to execute a contract between the City of Warrenton, Missouri and Pace Construction Company, LLC for the 2023 water line extension project.
Roll call vote, please.
Alderman Romaker?
Yes.
Alderman Miller?
Yes.
Alderman Schultz?
Yes.
Alderman Crump?
Yes.
Alderman Quarter?
Yes.
Alderman Cullum?
Yes.
Bill passes 6-0. Anything else, John?
Just a couple things. Bulk item trash pickup is October 26th for the south of Boonslick and October 27th for the north of Boonslick. So mark that on your calendars. That's coming up real quick.
Is that going to be the new water bills, the new printed water bills?
The new printed water bills will be on this next billing, which will be at the end of the month, I believe.
Oh, so, okay. And you said it was when for
Yeah, I
the
don't know if that's going to be
next week for the south?
26th for the south and the 27th for the north.
Thank you.
And this is the one, the curbside or the
Curbside.
drop-off?
Curbside.
Curbside.
Yep. Information is on our website and also Facebook, Instagram, wherever you can find us. And the only other thing I have is it's first meeting back since Fall Festival. Thank you guys for your support. We had a great event. Heard all good things, so
Thanks for all the hard work you guys put in.
Yeah, great.
Appreciate it.
You have entertainment picked out for next year already?
Not yet.
All right.
Working on it.
All right, thank you, John.
Yep, thank you.
All right, next up, Building Commissioner Mike Cross.
Good evening, Board. You have my monthly report. Give you a few highlights of what's kind of going on in the city. The Crazy Burrito King is still about 2 weeks away from serving burritos. Tractor Supply is all interior work right now, getting that store ready. SSM is all interior work right now. Still waiting on parking lot to get straightened out, but they're already actually painting inside there right now. All the glass is set and building's starting to look pretty nice.
Do you have any idea of a completion date?
For SSM, they're looking at probably mid-November to early December, and same thing for Tractor Supply. I thought they would try to hit that November selling season, but they might not make that goal.
Thank you, Mike.
Just to kind of give you an idea, I don't know if you guys realize, but we did 574 inspections, initial inspections this year. With our two-man crew that we have, and Diane doing all the paperwork. And out of those, we've closed 556 of them. So, and we're currently training on a new software program, which is going to bring us into the 21st century.
Is that going to help you or hurt you?
Right.
No, it's going to help
Process.
tremendously. We can actually do a lot of things in the field that we were never ever had to do, and we can start getting rid of all this paperwork and start doing stuff on tablets. So that's
great.
Thanks to John and Brandy, their insight to help. So it's been a great asset.
Great job on what you have
Yeah,
accomplished
no
with
kidding.
what you've done.
Wow, with two of you especially.
Yeah, it's keeps you busy. So
Mike, how's Ed coming along with his building for ELS headquarters?
it's getting there. They're working inside now. They're running all their electrical and some plumbing issues in there taken care of, and they're getting ready to pop the warehouse here pretty soon.
Is this by Compass you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the warehouse there on South 47.
Gotcha.
And then his other project going up there on the service road, it just keeps growing.
Yeah.
So he's at it pretty good. All the infrastructure work is done at the next phase of Walnut Hollow. So there's other 90 some odd homes that are going to be available there pretty soon.
Is Olive Orange Blossom finished now, or
Yes.
like he's got no more room over there to build, or
No, unless he starts buying some of the fairgrounds.
bought some already?
Yeah, he bought
Yeah, he did. He bought a chunk from them.
About
So
5 acres, I think, from.
I think he's pretty much done there unless he expands someplace else. But that, as soon as that's done, they're done, sold before they're even, thought about
A
it.
2-year
So
list.
There's a waiting list right now of, I think, 60.
Is Orange Blossom all adult, senior adult?
Yes.
It's 55 and up or something?
Yes, it is. Yep.
Looking for a place?
Well, he maintains that place very well.
I've heard nothing but great things about it.
Yeah,
so.
he maintains everything there for him. There's really never, you can drive through there at any time, and it's in very great shape. It is. Very nice.
Good deal.
That's all I have, gentlemen.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
All right, next up, Chief of Police, Larry Allard.
Good evening. The only agenda item I have for you is my monthly report. If you don't have any questions on that, I'd like to recognize some officers. At the annual CIT banquet that was on October 5th, 5 of our officers received commendations for their handling of a subject who was in crisis. They did an outstanding job of taking care of that, putting their own lives at risk to do so. 5 officers are Patrolman Parkinson, Detective Sergeant Hanner, Lieutenant Unger, Sergeant Kavanaugh, and Aaron Sutton. So I'd just like to bring that to you guys so that you were aware that that went on and they got that award.
That's
Good deal.
awesome. Well, congratulations to those
You
5.
betcha.
Chief, on here, this, I see that's ride-along on there for 16 participants. Is that up or down from years past?
It fluctuates. It depends. Like the high school puts on a program where they have students who are interested will come down and do a ride-along as part of their, not really an internship, but get out of class and go do something in the field. So It just depends.
Just to see if they're interested in getting into that field or anything? Okay. I just didn't know, I was just curious if that fluctuated and how much it does fluctuate.
It depends. I mean, it's like anything else, it goes up and down.
Chief, on those awards, and I guess I'm saying this to all the heads of the departments, I'd like to see that information flow down to Brandy and an email sent to us about these guys getting awards. I'd like to know about it prior to this, if we could. If you don't mind. I think it's important we know what they're doing out there, not just your department, but all heads, if we could.
Will do.
Hate to put a little extra work on you guys, but it'd be kind of nice to know if we run across one of these ladies and gentlemen, we could say something to them. Thank you.
Any other questions for the chief? All right, thank you, chief. All right, next up, Director of Planning and Development, Tim Burks.
Good evening, members, board members. Give a copy of my monthly report for September. We had 3 new businesses open in September. We had the Tower Loans of Warrenton open on 1323 North Service Road. Kittens and Cuddles at the 1000 Warrenton Shop, Suite 23. And the Fueler opened up at 701 Warrior Avenue. That's all I have. Do you have any questions for me?
Good work.
All right.
Added a couple more to that, and
Thanks,
it'd
Tim.
really be good.
Trying to add every month.
Thanks, Tim.
All right, I would entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. Motion made by Alderman Schultz, second by Alderman Cullum. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, say nay. We are so adjourned. Thank you, everyone.